Welcome to another key session on large language models, LLMs, and related technologies. These videos are designed to sharpen your knowledge and prepare you for interviews in today's competitive job market. Each video includes a free self-evaluation quiz, and for our interns, we provide exclusive Anki flashcards to help you master and retain these concepts effectively. Let's get started. Wishing you the very best in your learning journey.
Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the AI tools you probably use every single day. And look, while they are incredibly helpful, there are some hidden dangers we need to talk about. So we're going to explore the invisible fortress of security measures that are built to keep you safe. So let's just imagine for a second, you ask your AI assistant to order you a pizza. Pretty simple, right? But what if some kind of cleverly worded trick causes it to, I don't know, delete your entire email account instead? It sounds pretty extreme, I know. But this is the kind of risk we're dealing with when we give AI the power to actually do things in the real world. Now, this power to act, it has a name. It's called function calling. This is the magic that lets an AI book your flights or manage your calendar for you. It's really what separates a basic chatbot from a true digital assistant. But you guessed it, this power also creates a weak spot. You know, opening a door for anyone who might know how to trick the AI. So, how do we prevent all this potential chaos? Well, developers don't just rely on a single lock and key. Instead, they use this multi-layered security playbook. You should think of it less like a single wall and more like a fortress, with layer after layer of defense, all designed to stop bad stuff from happening before it even starts. The very first line of defense is all about guarding the main gate. And it all starts by asking two really crucial questions about who you are and what you're allowed to do. And here they are. First, you've got authentication. This just confirms who you are. Are you a real logged-in user? But then there's authorization, which confirms what you're allowed to do. So you might be an authenticated user, sure, but authorization is what stops you from, say, triggering a powerful function like deleting an account unless you have those special admin privileges. It's a really critical first barrier. All right, so the user is verified, but the system still can't trust the message itself. Not yet. Now it's time to inspect the request with, let's just call it extreme suspicion. Every single piece of that input is considered a potential threat until proven otherwise. And this is where we really get into the nitty-gritty. Input validation, it's kind of like a bouncer at a club. It checks if the parameters are even allowed. So for example, if the limit is ordering 100 items, it's just gonna flat out reject a request for 5,000. Then you have input sanitization. This is more like a detective, searching for and removing anything that looks shady or harmful, like stripping out malicious code that someone might try to sneak in to attack a database. But, okay, even with all those checks, the system has to assume that an attack might still get through. So this next part of the playbook is all about one thing: controlling the AI's power and containing any potential damage. We're in damage control mode now, and it's got 4 layers. First is the principle of least privilege, basically giving the AI only the absolute bare minimum permissions it needs to do its job and nothing more. Then, rate limiting stops it from being used for spam by capping how often it can act. And if some malicious code does get through, well, sandboxing runs it in a totally isolated environment, like a digital playroom where it can't harm the main system. And finally, output filtering scans the AI's response before it ever gets to you, making sure it's not accidentally leaking any sensitive data. And the final piece of this whole fortress is a permanent record. Every single action is logged, creating this unchangeable trail, which is all about accountability. This is called audit logging, and it's essentially the system's perfect memory. It keeps track of who ran the update invoice function, what they did, and when they did it. And this isn't just for debugging, you know? It's absolutely critical for accountability and for looking back at any incidents that might happen. So we've seen all these technical measures in the playbook, but what's the simple, powerful idea, the philosophy that ties all of this together? Well, it really all boils down to a single mindset that every single developer has to adopt if they want to build safe systems. And here it is: never trust user input, always validate it. This is the golden rule. Every request, every parameter has to be treated as if it's malicious until it's proven to be safe. This, you could call it a healthy paranoia, is pretty much the mortar that holds this entire invisible fortress together. But why? Why go to all this trouble to build such an elaborate fortress? What's really at stake here? Well, the consequences of getting this wrong are huge, not just for the technology, but for the people, for us, who trust it every single day. And this slide really lays out the stakes perfectly. These measures are what stand between a secure system and a devastating data breach. They're what stop hackers from running malicious commands, they protect services from getting overwhelmed, and maybe this is the most important one. They are absolutely essential for building and keeping your trust in this technology. So the next time you ask an AI assistant to summarize an article for you or schedule a meeting, just take a second to remember that there's an entire invisible fortress of security measures, these silent guardians working tirelessly in the background to protect. At the end of the day, it's a really disciplined process. Control who can do what, check absolutely everything, and be ready to limit the damage. That's what makes these incredibly powerful tools safe enough for all of us to use. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We have this really solid playbook for the AI of today. But as this technology gets exponentially more powerful, more autonomous, are these safeguards really enough? What new rules, what new layers of the fortress are we going to have to invent for whatever comes next?
Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to test your knowledge with the quick self-evaluation quiz. The link is right in the description. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. And if you haven't yet explored our self-paced AI internship program, visit shogini.com for full details. Wishing you all the best in your AI journey.